So this is a functional skills bite-sized session on purpose of text. So it's an English session, and ideally it will last about 15 minutes, but it will probably go a little bit over, I would expect, especially if people have questions, and maybe if we go off on any kind of tangents at all. But hopefully a nice 15-minute session on purpose of text. So this session, we have got two main aims for the session. So by the end of the session, you're going to be able to demonstrate an understanding of the terms purpose of text and language techniques, and also understand how they relate to each other. The focus is going to be on purpose of text, but purpose of text and language techniques are very closely kind of related. So you can't really understand one without the other. So we will touch on language techniques, but I think tomorrow at lunchtime, I think about 12, I'm doing another session where we're going to look at language techniques in a lot more detail. So we will build on that there, but obviously we will just introduce the concept in this first objective. The second half of the session is going to be more over to you guys, and you're going to do some tasks where you basically try and identify purpose of text. And you're going to do that through using context, and also through using a little bit of knowledge of language techniques. So there we go. There's the first, or they're the main kind of objectives of the session. So let's begin here. So as I said, purpose of text and language techniques are two really key terms that you need to have a clear understanding of in order to do well in your functional skills exam. So these are two things that even after this session, when we've talked about them, would be really good to go away and do a bit of practice on, and just kind of maybe write post-it notes and try and just memorize these terms and some examples of these terms. But first of all, then, let's clarify what is purpose of text. So the best way to think of this is this word purpose. So in the chat box, what I want you to do is just write me a couple of synonyms for the word purpose. So what do we mean when we say the word purpose? Yeah, exactly, Claire. Yeah, so it's the reason we do something. Exactly. So the purpose of text is basically the reason why the author has written the text. Exactly. Yeah, so it's the intent or meaning of the text. Good. So that's what the purpose of text is. And then we've got this other term over here called language techniques. What's a technique? Can you give me a synonym for the word technique? Skill, yeah, exactly. Or method could be another one. Exactly. So what we're looking at here is the way. So a technique is the way you do something. So it's the way the author uses language to achieve the purpose of the text. So that's the key thing. So the purpose of text is the reason why something's written, and the language technique is the way that the author achieves that purpose of text. So I've got that screen there, and what we'll probably do is send you these notes after the session. So these would be some nice kind of notes that you can refer back on if you need to, in terms of understanding what purpose of text is and what language techniques. Just before we go to the next screen then, has anyone got any questions about that at this point? And I can see that, Anila, you've asked me to maximize the screen. This is pretty much as big as I can get it, to be honest. Hopefully that's all right for you still. But we will send the notes out afterwards if you need to. So no questions. If everyone's happy, just put yes in the chat box. Awesome. Good. Excellent. It's just reassuring for me knowing that you're still there. So do put yes or no's in the chat boxes as regularly as you can, just to reassure me if anything. Awesome. I can see Anila's writing as well, so just give a second to do that. Yeah, perfect. All right, lovely. So on to the next screen then. What we're going to do here is I'm going to give you a purpose, or I'm going to give you a text. You're going to identify the text using context. You're then going to think about what is the purpose of that text. And if you can, this is the kind of stretch and challenge bit, we're going to try and sort of bring in a language technique. So let's have a look at the first one. So in the chat box, what is that? What are we looking at there? What is that a picture of? It's a list. Where would you see that normally in real life? Yeah, exactly. Good. Yeah, so it could be a bus, could be a train. It's basically a timetable, isn't it? So a bus or a train timetable. I think this is actually a train timetable. Good. So that's the context. So context means what is it? What are we looking at? And this is a train timetable. So what is the purpose of this? So what is the point of a train timetable? What job does it do? It gives you information. Exactly. So it gives you the departure times, tells you what platforms the train's coming on. It tells you if it's on time or if it's delayed. Exactly. So the purpose of this text, you're exactly right, is to inform the reader. So in functional skills, we've got 4 main purpose of text. The first one is to inform. So this train timetable, the main reason it's been created is to inform the reader or give them information. So this is the difficult bit then. What language techniques can we see on here? So this is for those of you that may be familiar with language techniques. I'm going to leave that quite an open question. It's quite difficult. It is simple and clear. Exactly, Anila. Yeah. One of the big clues as to a text being informative is the absence of other language techniques. So if it's really simple and if it's really clear, that's a big clue that actually the main reason is just to give you information, because they want to do that as easily, as simply as possible. But what have we got on the left and also in the middle? So platform, we've got, what are these? Are they letters or numbers? They're numbers, exactly. So when you look at informative text, you do often get what you might call statistics or data. That's quite common in informative text. Also, this train, Bristol Temple Meads, has been delayed. Is that a fact or an opinion? It's also leaving on platform 8. Is that a fact or an opinion? It's a fact. Good. So informative language or techniques often include giving statistics and giving facts. And I really like the way that you've said there that it's clear and simple as well. That's another big clue. So when you identify purpose of text, you can use context and you can use language techniques. Let's do the next one. So what are we looking at there? I know that's quite small, but hopefully you can see it. Is it a bit small for you, Neela? Okay, no worries. You can't see anything? Oh dear. Can anyone see that? You can see it now. Good. Maybe your connection is just a little bit slow. Sometimes it does take a while to kind of load.
Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Sam, if you press Control and with your mouse wheel, if you go closer, you can maximize your screen.
Yeah, I'm not going to maximize the full screen because I do want the chat box. I can certainly zoom in a little bit.
Yeah, it's a lot better now.
Is that better? Okay,
Yeah,
thanks for the help. Cool, thanks. So what are we looking at here? Has anyone got any thoughts on that? Is it information? Is it telling you the time of something or the date of something? Okay, I'll zoom a little bit more. It could be an instruction. What does it say? What's the topic? What's it related to? There we go. I've zoomed in even more. Yeah, so I think we're getting more closer to it, aren't we, there, Louise? So yeah, it's kind of a warning to do with the virus. Exactly. It says stay alert, control the virus, save lives. Good. What's the point of this? Imagine this was a poster. Imagine it was on the wall in the street or maybe in your building, wherever you work. Why would you put that on the wall? Yeah, good, Louise. Yeah, so they want you to be aware, exactly. So they want you to be careful. They want you to be aware. They don't want you to spread the disease. So what it's trying to do is influence your behavior. So what it's actually trying to do is to persuade you to do something. It's trying to persuade you to stay aware, persuade you to be careful, to wash your hands. So this is an example of a persuasive text. It might be a poster or a leaflet or something like that. And this is actually a language technique just here. Anyone know what that is? I'm going to zoom out again, just because you know what it says now. So if you've got 3 phrases presented together, it's called the rule of 3. So that is a tough one, but that is another language technique, well-known language technique for a persuasive text. So this text has been designed to give information. This text has been designed to persuade the reader to do something. We will pick up the speed a little bit because there's a few things to get through. What about this one? What are we looking at here? I will zoom in again, just in case you can't see it. So what's this? Yeah, exactly, Claire. So the purpose of it is to give you instructions, isn't it? Good. And it says here fire drill. So we're looking at a fire drill. That's the context. The purpose of a fire drill is to give you instructions, to instruct you how to do something. So for this fire drill, you need to follow the teacher, line up, move quickly, and remain with the class. So you can see there's some clear instructions. So we've now got 3 purposes of text. We've got inform, giving information, persuading you to do something, and then instructing you how to do something. Another way to identify this as an instructive text would be through the language technique. And in this instance, the language techniques would be, and some of you may have got this, the use of imperative verbs. So you do sometimes get bullet points on these, but this one obviously hasn't quite got it on there. But the use of imperative verbs, so putting verbs at the start of the sentence. That is something we'll go into more on Thursday. And like I say, this is really just for the stretch and challenge for those of you that might be confident in language techniques already. So we've got inform, persuade, instruct, and the last one. What are we looking at here? So what is this? You can't see it. Oh dear. Let's see if anyone else can. Personal information, good. So we've got the age. So that's obviously information because we know how old Eleanor is. What else do we know about Eleanor? So we've got her age. What else have we got? Yes, exactly, Victoria. Good, Tori, sorry. So we've got a description of Eleanor as well. So the purpose of this is describe. So we're describing Eleanor. What type of words have we got in there that make this particularly descriptive? So this is your kind of challenging question. And this is to do with the language techniques bit over here. Anyone can get this? It's quite tricky. So we've got like normal kind of, we've got a pronoun, we've got I, we've got a verb, we've got am. Exactly, Claire, good, well done. So we've got adjectives. So I'm outgoing, friendly. She's also in search of ambitious, caring, brave. These are all adjectives. These are all descriptive words. So that's another way that you can use language techniques to help you identify descriptive text. There's going to be lots of adjectives. Well done. So that was actually quite a lot of work, wasn't it, for only the second slide. but there's some key information there. So when you're trying to identify purpose of text, you can use context. So think about what is it you're looking at. Think about what's the purpose of that text. Is it to inform, persuade, instruct, or describe? And you can also use language techniques to check whether these are the correct purpose of text. So if it's inform, you often get facts and statistics. If it's used to persuade, you might get persuasive language techniques like rule of three. If it's to instruct, you often get imperative verbs. I think someone said bullet points or numbered lists. You do often also get that. And if it's to describe, you get descriptive language. So there we go. That's kind of your introduction to purpose of text. I do realize that's taken a little bit longer than usual, so we may kind of speed through the next bit. We might not do all of the slides, but let's have a little kind of practice then. A quick bit of revision and a little practice. So first of all, in the chat box, I want everybody to write me a list 1 to 4 and give me the 4 main purpose of text that you need to be familiar with for your functional skills. I'll just give you like 30 seconds, see if you can do it really quick. Well done, Claire. Good. So we've got instruct, persuade, inform. There's one you're missing. Well done, Tori. Good. Inform, persuade, instruct, describe. Excellent. Swapner, I like your use of etc. there for the last one. I'm not sure if that is quite going to get you all 4 marks, but you got 3, so that's good. Or you got 2 even. Anila, so you've got all not quite there, Anila. So what we're looking for is the 4 different purpose of text. So Louise, good, well done. So let's just kind of go back over this and see. So when we think of purpose of text, we think of what is the point of the text? Why has it been written? Well, there's 4 main reasons for that. It might have been written to inform, to give the reader information. So this could be, for example, timetables or something like Wikipedia. So these are all informative texts. A text might have been written to describe. So this could be, for example, a fiction novel that's used to describe characters, settings, build a picture in your mind. Reviews are also often descriptive. So a review of a restaurant might describe the taste of the food, the atmosphere, what the building looks like, that sort of thing. So that's another purpose of text. We've also got instructive text. So these are texts that teach you how to do something. So you might have a recipe or a, I don't know, IKEA instructions. Purpose of these texts, whoops, my typing's not too good this morning. The purpose of these texts is to give you instructions, to show you how to do something. And the last one is to persuade. So adverts, those are persuasive. They try and get you to buy the product. You might also have, for example, a political article, which tries to get you to think a certain way or take up a certain point of view. So these are your 4 purposes of text: inform, describe, instruct, and persuade. So we've got about 5 minutes. So I think we can squeeze a little activity in. So what we're going to do now is have a quick practice of identifying purpose of text through the use of context. So this first one, we've got a letter summarizing the details of your phone contract. So you just signed a new phone contract and they've sent you through a letter summarizing all the details of your contract. What is the purpose of that letter? Which of the 4? Good, excellent, well done. Yeah. See if I can actually type something properly. There we go. Good. So you can see just from kind of, without analysing it in any detail, immediately you can see the purpose of that is to give information. Good. What about this second one? So here we've got an advert for a cleaning product. Exactly, well done. There we go. Good. Really struggling to type anything this morning. I'm not sure why that is, but there we go. So yeah, this is informative. This is persuasive. Really good. Let's try the third one. This is a review of a hotel. Excellent. Well done. Good. So as spoken about, the main purpose of that is often to describe. With purpose of text, sometimes they do overlap. A review of a hotel is probably going to include what time the hotel is open, how much the hotel costs. So it is going to contain some informative information. However, the main purpose, the primary purpose, is going to be to describe the hotel. So the thing to watch out for is that these do overlap. And if they do overlap, you have to decide which is the most important one. So the last one then, and obviously process of elimination, you can probably guess what this one is. So yeah, a recipe for making an apple pie. So this wants to teach you how to make a recipe, or sorry, an apple pie. It wants to guide you through it. So this is instructive. Good. Really great. Well done. You did that really quick. So that's fantastic, which means we've still got 4 minutes and we can try another activity. So let's give this next one a go. This one is a bit more difficult. So what we're going to do now is identify purpose of text through using language techniques. You can still apply context if you want, but primarily you've got to look at the language techniques. So what would you say is the purpose of this text? I can give you some clues. We've got times in there, we've got days, and we've got statistics. Exactly. Good. So that one is to inform. So it's just giving you lots of information. Well done. Great. So let's do this next one. So obviously there's quite a lot of text there. Have a little skim through that. But you can see here we've got the rule of 3 at the top. We've got a rhetorical question at the bottom. I think we've got a bit of hyperbole in there as well. Lots of language techniques being used in there. Good. So this is like an advert, isn't it? It's trying to get you to buy whatever product this is. So if we use these types of language techniques, rhetorical questions, hyperbole, rule of 3, that means we're looking at a persuasive text. So that one is a bit more difficult. And like I said, these things do overlap. This is quite descriptive, but primarily it wants you to buy this product. So even though it's descriptive, the primary purpose is the fact that it's persuasive. Like I said, that is a very difficult one. So yeah, no worries if you didn't quite get that right. We're just going to do 2 more and then we're going to finish. So what about this one? So there's your numbered list. There's your imperative verbs. Good. And obviously you can use context because it clearly looks like a recipe, doesn't it? So that one is to instruct. Excellent. And the last one then, we've got a few seconds to squeeze this in. This one, you can see you've got long, narrow streets. We've got beautiful jewelry, colourful cards. Yeah, lots of descriptive words, lots of adjectives. So that one is going to be describe. Brilliant, well done. So a little bit of a slow start, but by the end, you guys are flying through these, so that's really good to see. Great. So I realised that we're running out of time. So let's jump through to the last bit then, and just do a quick summary of what we've done. So give me the 4 main purpose of text. So let's just do that again. So what are the 4 purposes of text? Good, excellent. Thanks everyone. That's looking really good. So we've got inform, we've got describe, we've got persuade, and we've got instruct.
My connection is slow, so like he's typing, I can't see.
Excellent. Well done. So that's the main thing we've learned in this session, is that there's 4 purposes of text that you need to be able to identify, and those are inform, describe, persuade, and instruct. Good. So in this session then, you've demonstrated an understanding of purpose of text. What does purpose of text mean? So you've just given me the 4 examples, but what does it mean? The reason for writing. Good. And what does language techniques mean? The skill, exactly. So the way the writer achieves the purpose of text. Exactly. So like I say, you really need a clear understanding of those 2 terms. Really good. And then we've identified purpose of text, and you've done that through context and through using language techniques. So you've done that, which is really good. And obviously we're evaluating what we've done now as well. Just really quickly, before I let you go, I want you to have a quick think about when will you next come across purpose of text or language features at work or in life. So after you log off from this session, when is the next time you're going to look at a piece of writing that's going to include purpose of text or language techniques? The job advert, exactly. So we can put that in there. Emails, exactly. Because basically everything that's ever written is always written for a reason. So if you look at any piece of writing, you're going to be looking at purpose of text, and you're probably going to be looking at language techniques as well. So the newspaper, the internet, yeah, notice boards. You can't type this morning. There we go. Exactly. So I'm going to use the etc. word, put that on the end. Basically any text you look at. So if you want to practice this, it's super easy. Open up a newspaper, think to yourself, what's the purpose of the text, and can I see any language?